Hello everybody and welcome to my very first AMA session. My name is Selim Kangeldi, I am the CEO, and today I'm gonna answer your question that you have posed or you has asked on our Discord channel. Before I start, let me just go through the purpose, the idea of why do we have anyway? Why does it exist? Why do we see this as the next big thing? So why does Udao exist? The idea behind Udao is that there are 1 billion people who need to reskill soon. And it's clear why. We have a huge technological advancement and we have AI in place. Many skills will expire soon. So there are 50% of the skills that will be expiring within the next 3 to 5 years. There are 87% of the companies who suffer from skill gap. They don't find the right skilled people. The situation just gets worse. When we look to the statistics, so I have 3 children, 1, 3 and 5. And out of statistic, 2 of these children will do a job that does not exist yet. So how can we prepare them? Institutions today fail to formalize job positions because the dynamic is a lot increasing. Let me go to the first question that you have asked. First question is, let me read it. As a platform that prioritizes practical skills over degrees, how does Udao assess and validate the skills acquired by users? What measures are in place to ensure the skills acquired are of high quality? Verification is key. It is very important that we assess the skills, that we can see that the user really has the skills. As of now, we have 2 mechanisms in place that we plan to have on our platform. First, and the most important one, is assessments. So there are assessments in place the users goes through to understand where is your skill level. But this is just one mechanism. The other mechanism that we think about are peer validation, and this is also something that the community you talked about and you really liked it. You came up from by yourself that this could be a great idea. The idea behind this is if I learn a skill and a peer, a colleague of mine can verify that I have the skill, that he somehow does a peer review is telling that I have the skill. The same is true for an instructor. If an instructor says, hey, my trainee or my student really got the skills and he showed that in this situation, for example. Another idea is companies. Companies can also say, he worked in our company and he really got these skills. The peer review mechanism, there are very innovative names how we can name that in the future. From you, we just call them by now peer reviews. Now I go to the second question. What are the recent collaborations made by Udao and who are they? Let me highlight 2 of them. I want to highlight the main partner. It's the European Academy for Executive Education. The founder is a good friend now. The company has like 60 coaches around the world. They are very present in Central Europe and in China. And mainly they teach C-level from very renowned companies, like to just name a few. There's Roche, as a big pharma company here in Switzerland, Siemens, Novartis, Adidas, Daimler in the US. So he has really access to those kind of C-level people, and he personally coaches global leadership. And this partnership is very important because, as you know, we are no education expert. But he is. He with his big team. He helped us a lot in defining all the processes we have within our platform, the whole process of how they should work, with the assessment, how should a user formulate his goals and achieve these goals, and so on. So all the mechanisms behind that are implemented in the platform, many of the ideas came from him. So that's why it's a very important partnership of Udao with him. The next one is to mention is also Digital Switzerland. So Digital Switzerland is an association and a foundation, and their mission is to transform Switzerland into a leading digital nation. And one very important pillar from them is education. That's why we are partner also from Digital Switzerland. So those are two very important partnerships. The non-official one I can't tell by now, but of course we are also in discussion with some universities here in Switzerland. You know, I graduated from ETH. ETH is top 1 university in Central Europe and among the top 10 within the whole entire world, so especially in the science area. I graduated as physicist. So there are some discussions ongoing, and if it's worth mentioning it, so I will mention it. Perfect. Let's go to the next question. What is the most challenging experience you've had in your project? Wow. Okay, yeah. There are many. I hope I can come back again to this question because there is so much experience within the last few months or even years now. Yeah, I have to think about it again, but two come into my mind that are very obvious somehow. So it's the whole market condition. When you look at the market condition as of right now, it's not the best market condition. So this is of course a huge challenge, especially also because at the moment there is a legal regulation Wild West outside of Switzerland. You know, here in Switzerland we have a very regulated place. Since 2018 it is regulated, and it is very fintech friendly regulated. So that's why it's very safe doing a business here in Switzerland. That's also the reason why we have the crypto valley here in Switzerland. With in 2018, I just have the number from them, it's about 30% of the total market capitalization from crypto within the crypto valley. So and this is the reason why it's like that. And when you go outside of Switzerland, it's Wild West now. The Security Exchange Commission that is fighting with Binance and with the FTX case, that's the actual phase during I'm recording this AMA session. So this is of course a challenge because this puts a strong pressure into the whole economy. We want to be very inclusive also with Web 2 people. So we see in the future that this somehow converges. I think many of you does see this too. When you think about, we should somehow converge it and also convince Web 2 people. As of now, when they think about Web 3, they think about, wow, wasn't it the scam, FTX, crypto is going down, it's all money laundering and so on. People are thinking like this about Web 3, very sadly. I think in the next year it will completely change. And the regulation that comes into place is a very good thing. I really like that we go this path because there are so many scamming projects, sadly, and here in Switzerland you can't do that because we are regulated from a regulator here in Switzerland. They know me personally, where I live, they know my whole family. So when we do something that is not allowed, we go into jail and the company is closed. Exactly. This is why I really like that we go this way. And this is also a reason why projects here, for example, in Switzerland are very successful regarding that and don't have a problem with regulation. And this is also the reason why at the moment we cannot or we don't sell any tokens to US people or Canadian, because if we sell tokens to them within the pre-sale, we have some legal issues. That's why we just exclude them. That's the reason. So this is the whole market condition and the whole regulation Wild West outside of Switzerland. This is one very challenging experience. The other is, I somehow mentioned it, that we want to be very inclusive and we want to convince traditional people, because we have a very strong network in the Web 2 out of our founding team and of our advisory board. And we are very successful in convincing them somehow, but it's really challenging. So you can imagine there are people, there are C-level people here in Switzerland. I must say the age of those people are like 6 years. And when we 1 year ago, when we told about the project, the idea and so on, they just told online education. I don't think that there is a market for that. So you see that they have no clue about it, because even at this very moment when he said that, the market was like $300 billion per year. And exactly, this market will going to triple into a few years to a $1 trillion market per year. So he has no idea about the market. Exactly, and yeah, this is just about online education, about e-learning, and Udao is not only about e-learning. But when it comes to Web3, try to convince such people that who don't understand what edtech is a market, the philosophy of Web3, and that this is the market, the cultural shift. So yeah, those were very tough discussions, but I really liked them. And yeah, this is just to answer you some of the challenging experience we've had. Okay, let's go to the next question. I have here something. Okay. So, what is your revenue model? In which ways do you generate revenue or profit? So many projects just like to speak about the long-term vision and mission, but what are your short-term objectives? What are you focusing on right now? Okay, there are many questions within this sentence, so let's go through that. First, I want to answer what are we focusing on right now? So we are focusing in right now to finance down the road. As you know, we have raised in total over $2 million. And our very first pre-sale, today we have still ongoing second stage pre-sale. And our first pre-sale we've had, we raised about a bit more than $100,000. And the rest, so where comes the rest? More than 2 million, and we raised more than 100,000 in public sales. So this came out of private sale of anchor investors and so on that financed until to this point. Exactly, but now we are gonna focus still on financing. So we will have some. This stage 2 pre-sale, we check whether we will have maybe a third one, maybe not. We will decide on that and we will inform you. And then we will of course have an initial offering, whether IDO, IEO, ICO. This will be also to be announced. The plan is to have that end of this year. And those are the short terms, let's say, elements we are focusing on. Of course, we are focusing on the platform and everything else that is associated with, but just I think the question is about the revenue model, how do you generate profit and so on, etc. But okay, so how is this sustainable? Now we finance this is like a fixed amount that we can finance with that. So how do we sustainably finance the whole road? That's why I really like this question, and we really differentiate in this element. So long term, how does that look long term? Then we need to differentiate to answer this question how the whole structure is. And I always, when you invest in a company or in a token, try to understand this, because this is very crucial. So you need to understand, okay, what's the company, what's the project, is there something that is controlling this project, and how is this all connected, legal connected, and where are the fees flowing into? And this defines the revenue model in the end. And okay, so our company is the company anyway that is doing the project Udao. Udao will be given to the Udao Foundation. A foundation is a legal construct here in Switzerland that is very safe, that we can form, and this will be also controlled by an authority that we act as we said to it what Udao Foundation should do. So it will be formulated for the Udao Foundation what they aim to do, and then the authority checks that you always do like that, and you can never put out the money out of a foundation. So maybe you cannot. And this is quite different from a US foundation. You see, OpenAI is a non-profit foundation, and they just changed into a capped for profit foundation, and then Microsoft invested 10 billions and is capped for 100x, so they can make 1 trillion out of it. And this is something that is not able, we cannot do that here in Switzerland. That's why it's more safe and more trustworthy towards the community. That's also a reason why we have the Crypto Valley here in Switzerland. Okay, so now you understand a bit how this is working. So we have the company anyway, and we put our project into the foundation, also the money that we have raised, and this foundation acts as it aims to act, that we formalized and that transparently formalized. And now the question is, how can this foundation sustainably generate revenue to maintain everything? So for that, we have the whole platform economy. The platform on Udao consists mainly, let's go to the main actors, about a learner, the experts, so the instructors, and the organizations. And there are some payings within this economy. And for example, when the learner pays for learning, there's a small fee that goes to the foundation to maintain the whole platform. And there are fees for incentivizing the whole platform economy. But now here is a very crucial element. No fee from Udao goes to other central authority. And this is very unique. Look at many projects, and many projects have fees that flow to a central authority, to a company. In our case, if we would do it like many others do that, a fee would flow to our company anyway. But we don't do that because we believe in the true philosophy of Web3. So we don't have any fees that's flowing to anyway. That's why we sit in the very same boat as every investor. So every investor who invests in Udao, who pays for a token, has the same incentive as we, and earns in the same way as we do from Anyway. Because Anyway has some of the tokens for the team and for the anchor investor, and this is true. We make the money for Anyway in the same way as any investor. So this is the answer for Anyway. And now for Udao, I answered it before. So we have fees that flows to Udao Foundation, so that they can finance the whole maintenance and further development, maintenance for hosting. Hosting will be the one that somehow is a crucial part, the biggest part of the costs. They are streaming everywhere and so on. Somebody needs to pay that, and this is paid by that. And now, just to give you also a bit more numbers behind. On Udemy and on other peer platforms, so many peer platforms that do online learning take about 70% as a fee, and Udao will take only 10. So this is a very special element. The lion's share of the money goes to the content creator and not to somewhere else. And this is, the question I just read, the question is more about the revenue model. So now I talked about the instruction, but the question is more about the revenue model for Udao and the Udao Foundation, and this is how it is financing down the road sustainably. So to wrap up, short term, pre-sale, the initial offering, and then this is a huge pot, and we finance with them some elements, and then the sustainable refinancing for the whole project comes within the platform economy. This is how the revenue model for Udao Foundation is. The revenue model for Anyway, you also understand, so we sit in the same boat as everyone who bought a token. Okay, now let's go to the next question. Does Udao plan to have NFTs in the future? So, of course, we are exploring further use cases. As of now, we only have the use case that instructor who creates a learning has its digital asset within an NFT. So this is somehow like when I invent something, technical thing, or even in pharma, I have a patent. And we now think it's worth to have the same for learning. If I create a learning, this is knowledge that I've put in how to educate someone. And this is mine. And compared to peer platforms on Web 2, they do the contrary. So they say, okay, when you are on our platform and you want to use our audience, your learning that you do, this belongs to us. And we do often, also they say, when we do the pricing for you. This is completely different on Udao. There is where the NFT comes into place. So we have the NFT for content ownership. It's a digital asset. It is a digital tradable asset for the content creator, for the instructor. This is our main use case with NFT. Let's go to the next question. How does the Udao project protect investors and comply with local regulations? This is especially important in security token offerings. Oh, this is not only, in our case, it's not only important for STOs, so for security token offerings, it is, as we are in Switzerland, it is important for us too. So when we started the project, the very first thing we have done is we have taken over advisor or legal advisor. We have formulated the project and we went to the FINMA. So this is the financial authority, the financial regulator here in Switzerland. We needed to check everything, whether we comply with regulation, what can we do, what should we do, and so on. So this is a very important part, and we have regulations, as I said before in the AMA session, since 2018 into place. That's how investor or somebody who buys a token is protected. It's because of the Switzerland's regulation that we have here. And me personally, I'm personally accountable against the financial regulator here in Switzerland. Okay, let's go to the next question. What and how many areas of training are planned at Udao? How wide will be the range of skills that I can level up as a user? Yeah, cool question, because this is something that we think this is obvious, but it isn't. So we don't restrict to anything. So this is very important, because there are global trends emerging tomorrow. And this is the idea of the platform, that if tomorrow a new skill emerges, we need to find this on Udao. And Udao is aligning the demand in the job marketplace and the supply of the people who have the skills. So organizations who ask, I need this skill, and learners who get those skills. This is the idea, and this is why we can't and we won't restrict to specific skills. We also don't take the responsibility for the learnings, because the instructors do. The learnings belongs to the instructors, to the experts, and this is their digital asset, and we can go in every direction. Of course, we restrict to some elements that, for example, no racism and so on. So there are obvious elements that we of course restrict, but we don't restrict regarding an industry. So we are completely open to every industry. Perfect. Thank you very much for this very first AMA session that we had together. We are planning to do several more AMA sessions on a continuous basis, and I hope see you again. Ask questions on our Discord channel, then we will answer them in the future. I hope I get your question. Thank you very much. See you. Bye bye.